To download Cura, open your browser and search for Ultimaker Cura. Click on the first link and then click Download for free. The website will check your computer and only offer you the correct download link for Mac or Windows. Select Don't Want to Share information and then click Download. This will save you having to fill out a long form. Once your download is complete, install and open the program. This is Ultimaker Cura, used to prepare your files for 3D printing. First, you must select which printer you are using. In this case, it's the Ultimaker 2 Plus. Click Add Printer. Now that this is done, you can see a visualization of what the build area looks like for the printer. At the back, you should see Ultimaker 2 Plus so that you know it's the correct one. Now we're going to load a file. In the top left corner, you can select Open File and then browse through your computer to find an STL file. This is the file type that you need to use. You can then click Import or Open. In this case, I'm just going to bring in a file that I have recently used. Here you can see something that I've recently printed. It shows up in yellow once it's been imported into the program. When you click on the object, you can rotate around it using the mouse. And on the left side, we have some of the basic control options. First move, then scale, rotate, and it's all pretty straightforward really. So if we click on move for a moment, you'll see that you have blue, green, and red arrows. You can grab the object and move it around anywhere that you need to in the build plate, or you can grab on the arrows if you want to move it along a specific axis. Alternatively, in the dialog box to the left, you can also type in a specific location if you want to move it somewhere. Under scale, you have uniform scaling. Again, you can grab these handles to scale it, or you can type in the percentage. You can see that uniform scaling is ticked. That means that it will scale without distorting the object. Below that we have rotation, where again you have three handles that allow you to rotate it along different axes. Blue, green, and red. Sometimes you need to rotate your view of this area so that you can correctly grab the one that you need to rotate. As you can see I'm doing here, I'm just moving around so that I can clearly grab each handle and rotate the object as I need to. Next, I would think that we should start with the recommended tab. Up here, you'll see your material options. We want to make sure that PLA is selected, as this is the material type you'll be using, and your nozzle needs to be 0.4 millimeters, as that's what's installed on the machine. Here we have layer height, where you can select the number of layers you would like. This affects quality. Below that we have infill, generate support, and build plate adhesion. Always tick build plate adhesion. This helps your print stick to the glass. Here you'll see blue dialog boxes which pop up when you hover your mouse over different functions, and this gives you a basic explanation of what's happening. Down here you will see a time estimation. This will tell you how long it's going to take, and a save to file button so that you can save it to the SD card for printing. If you right click on the object, you will find a bunch of different options such as center, delete, and multiply if you want to make multiples. I'm going to delete this part and use a different part for this particular example. Here we have the Moa Bones, or part of the Moa Bone project that I've loaded in. These files are already pre-sliced and ready to print on the SD card for you. However, I'm going to show you how to set the settings yourself under the Custom tab if you would like to do it. Here we can select the layer height. If I type in 0.2, I can override the standard profile configuration and go to a lower layer height, which works very well for this particular model. If we scroll down, we can select our infill here. In general, for these particular ones from my testing, 18% is quite a good amount. The print speed, which is how fast the print head moves, we're going to bump this down a little bit to slow it down so we can increase the quality. The faster the print head moves, the more jittery effect that has on the overall print quality. You should be able to type in something similar to what you see on the screen here. If we scroll down a little bit further again, we can see that there's support and build plate adhesion. We want to make sure that brim is turned on with a brim width of 8 millimeters. Actually, let's bump this up to 16 just to give a really strong, stable base to make sure this part sticks. In the top here, you'll see solid view. Let's move this over to layer view. And what this does is give us a visualization. Line type needs to be selected here, by the way. And you can untick the show travels button just to get some of the blurriness out of the way. So at our current settings, this is 899 layers thick. I can grab the scrubber and slide it down to see a visualization of what happens during the print process. You can see what the mesh looks like on the inside, thickness of the walls, and other attributes of the model. I highly recommend that you look at this feature because each time you make a modification to the settings on the side, this visualization will update to reflect your settings. This is a really easy way to learn what is happening before you even click print. Alright, we're just going to delete that part and import one of the joint ends of the bone to give a visualization of what the support structure looks like. That's what you can see in blue here as we scrub through the layers to look at what the build process will look like. Just move a little around a little bit so you can see what different angles look like. Swap out of layer view back to solid view for a moment. Here again you can see that if you look at the yellow model, you'll see all these red sections. That's the software saying that this will require support. And that's all the blue support that you can see there. This is able to be removed after the print is complete just using pliers. Most of it just breaks away by hand. Occasionally you'll require a craft knife to get some of it off, but in general it should support the underside of the print as it's being produced. Otherwise you'll basically end up with some squiggles printing in mid-air if there's not something for the next layer to sit on as it's being produced. Alright, so we're just going to jump out of that and bring in one of the basic straight Moa Bone parts and basically get this ready to print. Bring it in. At the moment we're in layer view, which is why it looks grayed out. We need to swap over. Support is not required, so we can turn support over off for this, and we can swap over to the custom tab. Just make sure that that layer height is set to 0.2 rather than 0.15. This will just make your print time much more suitable, but still have a very nice quality. So here we can see that it has finished slicing and visualizing the part. Everything looks good, so we'll just swap back over to solid view here, and then we can basically go to the printer, grab your SD card, insert it into the side of your computer, and you'll see this Save to File button. Once the computer's recognized the SD card, will change to say Save to Removable Drive. There we go. So now if we click on this, this will save the file directly to the SD card. Once that is clicked, occasionally you might need to rename the part just so you can keep track of things. So click this, file is saved, and it even offers you a handy eject button to eject the SD card. Once that dialog box disappears, which can sometimes take up to 30 seconds, a second now. Here we go. So now we can take the SD card out and go back over to the printer.